Well, Mav, we've still got, according to my watch here, about maybe 15 minutes left in today's call. But I see a message that Joe has a sick daughter here, so everybody listening, please wish Joe well with dealing with the sick family there. But of the updates that we had here, the biweekly update, Mav, what are some of the important things that you think we might want to spend a little bit of time talking about here?
Yeah, let's run through a few of them, Ken. I do have to say, first of all, well, to echo your thanks to Dan and Ben for coming on today's Twitter space. For me personally, not being a node operator and not perhaps having the level of technical knowledge that some of the community members have, it was great to hear some of these rather complex topics explained in a very clear way. And I have to say, as an rETH holder, I hope it's encouraged some of our mini pool operators to turn that switch on and have the opportunity to grab some of those lottery blocks and share it out with everyone. So, yeah, just to make it clear, Dan and Ben, feel free to stay on the call if you like, but we're going to transition into a Rocket Pool update focus for the next 15, 20 or so minutes. But yeah, let's run through the latest bi-weekly update. I suppose we could skip the smart node R&D section and we could leave that for the community call, but we maybe have enough time to squeeze in the rest of the points, being, so we've got the stats overview and then governance. Let's just go with governance and media, see how we go with that.
Yeah.
Ken, how does that sound?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I mean, the one thing I will just do is maybe a public service announcement here. If there's anybody, and I doubt anybody listening to this isn't already updated, but definitely update to the latest Rocket Pool version 1.64. There were some improvements in there that were important, especially with Lighthouse and Bezu users. There's some updates in the releases channel, and I will mention that Bezu, if you don't know it already, is struggling with a couple of challenges that they have. So if you are a Bezu user and listening to this, definitely check on your node. It might be doing okay, but it also might need some TLC. So reach out and support if you're having difficulties on those. But yeah, Mav, let's talk about governance, I think.
Sounds good. I think first of all, though, I've just seen a Rocket Watch notification come through about a 7,900 ETH worth of RPL OTC swap. So that's definitely a bit of size there. I wonder if it was time to coincide with a Twitter space. Probably doubt it. If you've got that much funds, there's probably bigger things that you're concerned about. But
Yeah,
hop into.
I mean, everything seems to happen when we're on this Twitter space call. Somebody's saying that there was a mention of Rocket Pool to Vitalik in an interview too. I gotta go check out.
Yeah, right. I was not the best at multitasking. I was thinking about loading it up to check, but that's on my list to do after the call. But I mean, yeah, it's not long after the bi-weekly update went out, and we're already getting a whole lot more exciting events rolling on through. So yeah, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, hard to keep up with this space, but yeah, but go for it. Tell us what folks need to know here in 13 minutes or less about everything else.
All right, so let's start off with the stats update. We track 4 metrics in these bi-weekly updates. We have the rETH supply, so that's grown by 15.7%. That's since the previous update. So in every year, not that growth is necessarily guaranteed. It could be higher for all we know, but it's an annualized growth of 410%. So pretty impressive stat there to start off with. And the other 3 metrics have also performed similarly well. So we've got our mini pool count up 13.6% to over 8,000. The effective RPL staked after a couple of bi-weeklies where that number has declined due to RPL exceeding the 150% collateralization cap and becoming ineffective. We've now seen that jump back up by 16.1%, annualized growth rate of 420%. So nice to see that. And then our node operator count has grown 5.3%. There are also another couple metrics that are not tracked but are worth shouting out. I'm just scrolling down to find them. We ticked over 250,000 ETH staked and over 1,500 node operators. So it's all go in our first post-merge bi-weekly update. And from there, let's jump down.
I think we should just take a second to acknowledge those numbers. I mean, we kind of hit those numbers and passed on them. I think we're so excited about where we're going, not where we're at, but damn, those are impressive numbers, I must say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'd be interesting to track them over the next few bi-weekly updates. We do know that there's obviously a lot still to come in terms of some of these topics we might get to in the future, whether that's Maker integration, Chainline Oracle, Optimism grant funds. So I feel like perhaps we're just getting started here. And governance. So there's a few points to cover off in governance. First of all, big congrats to our newest rocket scientist, Valdorf. So the bi-weekly update includes a quote from Langers in the Discord announcement. And I'm sure everyone here would agree that Val has indeed demonstrated, quote, empathy and support for new members, provided constructive feedback, has improved Rocket Pool as a product, expressed valuable contributions to governance discourse, and helped to shape governance structure. So, on that topic of governance, we've had the PDAO, or the PDAO treasurer, Jasper, has put out the first of what will be a series of regular reports. So great to see that that organization there, and the transparency of good reporting. And the next round of rETH liquidity incentives, there's a discussion ongoing in the DAO Governance Forum. All these topics are linked to for your convenience in the bi-weekly updates. So you can jump over to Reddit or follow the link in the Discord announcement, and you'll find all the links there to the topics we're talking about. In addition, there's some other discussions ongoing, and these include a draft RPIT structure for grants and bounties, and also a discussion relevant to this call today, which is what to do about the interaction of the smoothing pool and MEV Boost. I know obviously you can have put a lot of time into studying the smoothing pool. I don't know if you had any comments that you wanted to kind of add on this topic, or maybe we can carry on. But it's obviously right now, MEV Boost not being a requirement and indeed being an opt-in feature has led to perhaps an imbalance in terms of eligibility for smoothing pool rewards, but not necessarily a fair contribution to those rewards in terms of capturing MEV Boost revenue.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought both of those up, because I do encourage everybody, maybe you're just listening on the call, maybe you're listening to it on replay and podcast, but definitely take the time to look at these two. The first one, the grants and bounties, is so important because there is so much that I personally see that could be outsourced to the community in terms of a grant, right? Like, I know Joe's wanting to update the documentation and he is so excellent and talented on it, but he's also got other skill sets in terms of the client and, the interface. And, eventually we might need a graphical user interface, right? And so, there are things we could outsource in writing a grant or a bounty to, update the documentation or to provide better clip art or infographics or whatever we need. And I think that proposal will get a committee going that can start to help, provide leverage to the team. And then on the smoothing pool and MEV, right, or just MEV in general, right, these are issue, shades of gray, right? There is no real right or wrong unless we as a collective, a rocket pool community, come together and decide, okay, smoothing pool, maybe that's a little easier. There's no mooching. If you're going to be in it, you have to be in MEV. Outside of it, I don't know where to draw the line, right? Is it only ethical MEV? Is it no MEV? What do we need to do? And I think, it's not something you can ask the devs, what's the right answer, or you can ask the rocket scientists, what's the right answer. It's really the community has to weigh in and say, as a community, we decide this is the right answer. So definitely read these things, comment, share your opinion, because we have to get both of these up to voting here in the near future.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for anyone on this call, anyone in the community, to have your say and to help shape what Rocket Pool might look like in the future, not only on this important topic, but everything else that's happening right now in our post-merge world. So I'll try and get back on track. I kind of skipped around a little bit, but another important topic that we have been talking about quite regularly on these calls is, of course, the important upcoming Atlas protocol upgrade. And that is another topic where feedback has been sought. There was a request from Langers in Discord a few days back seeking feedback in the DAO Governance Forum on what exactly should be included in this update. Obviously, there are a few considerations in terms of, for one, we obviously all want everything and we want it now, right? Staking as a service, LEBs, upgrades to support withdrawals. But in addition to balancing workload and team resource, there's an audit consideration. Although I have to say, while I'm not really directly involved in that, our auditors have been very helpful in doing their best to ensure that they're available to provide support for Atlas, and that they're not going to be kind of a sticking point in terms of releasing that upgrade. So big thanks there. In addition, we're also needing to kind of work alongside the main Ethereum core dev roadmap. So there's still a few question marks about what exactly will be included in the Shanghai update. And obviously the whole withdrawal topic is one that's being discussed quite a bit. As I understand, even within the kind of core dev team themselves, there's a bit of back and forth in terms of prioritization. So it's tricky enough to kind of create and roll out an update, but to have to do it while also taking on board what the Ethereum core devs are doing makes it even more difficult. But regardless, encouraging everyone to have their say in the DAO Governance Forum on what your thoughts are regarding Atlas. We also had voting close on an amendment to RPIP 10, I guess more of kind of an administrative update regarding the selection for PDAO committees. Won't spend too much time talking about that one. But with that, I think we've gotten through the governance topics. So perhaps we can jump down to media. I guess it really should be media and marketing. There's a few points here. I talk about the Rocket Pool intern Twitter account quite a bit, but we do have tweets that are being fed through to the random channel in Discord. So if you're looking for a curated source of all the rocket pool happenings on Twitter. You can jump in there and see the ping cord bot, which is bringing through some of those tweets, and the 6.9 RPL tokens were also given away. That was announced, and the prize distributed to a supportive community member, which was great to see. And then in other prize news, the winners of the Bring Out Your Nose competition, that was announced in Discord, and contact has been made with all of the winners. We've got their addresses, and the POAPs and RPL tokens will be sent out likely later in the week. And we do have a couple of those winners on the call today, I see, which is great to have you guys here with us. We've covered off the milestones that were reached. As Ken said, it's pretty exciting. I know for myself, just with the recent slew of large deposits into the deposit pool, it's very easy in this space to kind of get desensitized to some of these numbers, right? You see hundreds of ETH being deposited and then thousands of ETH being deposited, and all of a sudden it becomes an everyday occurrence. It's worth remembering that these stats are pretty impressive as they are. So it's a great achievement by the entire rocket pool community and protocol to be hitting these kinds of numbers. We had a POAP for rocket pool GitHub contributors that was announced, I believe, shortly before the merge. There were 15 of them claimed, so good to see a little bit of recognition there. And then we've also seen an increasing number of DAOs and other kind of organizations and parties who have either started to purchase rETH or are voting on the purchase of rETH for their treasuries. Even some spinning up mini pools as part of their kind of treasury investment strategies. There's a list of a few in the update, in the biweekly update. But on a related note, which I kind of didn't include, but there've been quite a lot of different DeFi protocols and other kind of crypto projects reaching out. They tend to find their way to me. So I have to say right now I'm juggling quite a few DMs, and I can say for a fact that there's definitely an increased awareness and interest around what Rocket Pool is doing, which is great to see, of course. Certainly keeping me busy, but whether that's kind of merge hype or a reflection of some of the increased engagement that we've seen with Rocket Pool content on Twitter, a combination, some of the great stats that we've been hitting, definitely some pretty good momentum building there. Also,
that's great, man. But just don't let it go to the intern's head that his tweets are is what's causing our integrations. But it's great to see the fall, hopefully being the fall of integration for rETH. I think that's our next big area to build upon.
Yeah, for sure. I certainly spend a little bit of time on Twitter, and there's a whole lot of different accounts who are discovering Rocket Pool, who are posting kind of commentary analysis. They're thinking about the future of ETH staking and how Rocket Pool plays a part in that. So don't you worry, the intern will stay locked up in Dave's basement for the foreseeable future.
Excellent. Well, I think we're reaching the top of the hour here. The one other item I just want to kind of include here before we conclude is that Mav, you had posted this biweekly update in the channel up at the top, the protocol channel, and so I encourage everyone to go read it for all the details. We didn't have a chance to cover, but even a third of it on today's call, there's a lot in there. And the one thing I'd like to just echo again and boost is the the suggestion that everyone react to the message. Please don't react to the protocol biweekly post message. I suppose you can if you want to, but actually click the link at the bottom of that protocol biweekly post update. It's the one talking about Whack Whack, and I guess if we get 100 likes on that post, Whack Whack has to do something else on his great Rocket Full episode. So definitely find that post, react to it. We want to see 100 reacts to it.
Oh yeah, I think we shot well over that 100 some time ago. I actually I removed the link before my boss wakes up and finds it. So if you go to that protocol update, you won't find the link. But it is, I guess, a few hours back in trading, and we got we did get 100 reacts, or well over, I believe, on that post. So yeah, Whack Whack has to do something even more degrading and YouTube stereotype shout out or comment on one of his next episodes. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And of course, jokes aside, it's a great resource to stay up to date in between these bi-weekly updates and in between these calls. I mean, if the news and update throughput stays at this level, I don't know, we might have to go to a weekly update. Who knows? Said it a few times on this call so far, but definitely a lot going on, which is great to see.
Yeah, no, wonderful. Well, Mav, thank you again for joining us, and a special thanks again to our host, Daniel and Ben, for joining us from Blocks Route for it. And with that, I think we'll say goodbyes to everyone here.
Thanks again to having us.
Yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Ben. And thanks, Ken. And thanks to everyone who've joined on this live Twitter space and who are watching it on YouTube. The recording will be up a few hours later on today. See you guys on the next call.